The Council of Nine are, in truth, eons. In totality together they are one, as all the universe is one. We wish you to know firstly that we are not physical beings. Your world is the manifestation of creation and of the Creator manifest in your world in the form of humankind. You have been created in the image of the Creator. This world has lost its identity with creation. What is, of necessity to understand is the going forth and creating action and deed that brings you to completion in who you are. It is not enough to pray, it is not enough to gather groups of humankind for meditation. What is important is to act. The Sphinx was built and named after Himarchos, the day, the evening, and the mid-noon, who arrived on planet Earth 34,000 of your years ago. Himarchos is the balance for the nine as a group. The principle of the nine is infinite intelligence. What we try to bring to this planet is this type of intelligence. We are nine principles of the universe, separate yet one at the same time. Each represents a portion of energy, knowledge, wisdom, love, kindness, technology, and in continuity it goes on until each portion of a spiral is composed of all that is important to bring complete understanding to each atom. There are in actuality multiplications of the nine, but principle there are nine. We are what is identified in Hebraic tradition as the Elohim. We wish you to know we are not God, but a collective of one. We wish you to know that we are you as you are we. You created us, and out of that creation you were created. Do not underestimate who you are, and your ability. Know that all people are pure, that you are perfect, and that all things are possible with you. Know that we cannot exist without you and all souls, and neither can planet Earth nor the universe. When you understand that, you will understand your own life. At times in your world people create confusion, for the density is of darkness. Always hold the light of truth of your own being, who you are, in your heart. We are with you always. We give you love, we bring you peace. Nine is complete. Everything is nine. In your world you have said seven so many times, when everything is truly nine. There are nine chakras, which are the nine principles and nine elements of what you call God. There are nine bands around this planet Earth. There are nine etheric bodies, and the purpose of growing your etheric bodies or going through your transformations and transitions is to attain the nine etheric bodies. Nine is a complete number, it is whole. When you go over a nine it cancels, it becomes one, and a nine is complete. This does not change. But remember this, we ourselves are not God. All of you and all of us make God. When we speak of what our language is, it comes from deep within. It reaches different degrees, but it is a tonal language within a range of your language in 98.6 megacycles. It vibrates from the body. It produces a sound that you may hear, but it is inside. It is what you would call a radio wave. There are hints of us upon your planet. There are many who try to understand who we are. In your earthliness, it is difficult for you to accept that which you do not understand. At times, the attempt to understand colors the truth of the universe. There are only keys for unlocking portions, for the human mind cannot totally comprehend. There are many interpretations and also many conflicts about who we are. Planet Earth must reach that state of evolutionary consciousness where we may be understood. The Council has said do not try to put us into a box, we do not exist in that form. There are many dimensions between you and us. Within, in your mind, visualize your Earth. Then from your Earth visualize that there are waves spiraling outward, where one wave creates another. As it circulates, it grows creating more and more. It is heavy in the beginning. If it has a sound, it is loud of sound. As it radiates out, it becomes refined and becomes more expansive. All of those irritants that exist within the physical planet Earth are eliminated as it becomes a pure sound and a pure wave. If you would have it in the color of browns or blacks, as it is radiating out, it is also being purified until it becomes in truth the color of colorless, which is in truth a golden light. We are at the extent of that. We are, how may we say to you? As you can take a sound until it becomes the purest, as you can take a color until it becomes the purest, if you can take all vibrations until their level has raised, until the pitches of a pure nature, that is where we are. It is as if you would take all that was spiritual within the universe, all that was of the intellect within the universe, take all of the physicalness that has been refined, and blend it together to make one pureness. It is like a crystal. We do not have a physical body, although we may put on the mantle of a physical body when it is necessary. It would be difficult for us to describe to you exactly what we appear like. We appear in many forms when that is necessary. In your thought process, we may appear as a human, or as an energy ball. We may appear as a very bright light. We have evolved beyond the point of needing a physical type body, as many souls need. We are always here, but you do not always see us. When I say we, I do not mean me, but I mean all of us. We are often observing. There are particular times in your life when we do not observe, and that is when you are involved with your desires, as it is none of our affair. We exist in the zone of cold. Because of this, we have no problem in manifesting in any manner in which we desire, yet we do not need reproduction. You must remember that those of us that live in this zone have come a very long way in evolving. It is not necessary to reproduce as it is in your place. We are soul. We are the universe. We come from the zone that is cold. This is perfection. You may call it superconductivity. We are in the center. We do not wish to sound as if we are perfect or as if we are egotistical, but on either side of us there is the positive, and there is the negative. And when I say this, I mean there is the positive that is not balanced, and there is the negative that is not balanced. We, the 9, are in the center, and we are balanced. We are trying to bring those other forces into balance. We have never been out of balance. It is other things in the universe that are not in balance. We exist at the pivotal point of the universe. There is a balance. Within each of you there is all of the positive and all of the negative of the universe, as you would call matter and antimatter. In each of you, as in each of us, there is completeness. Completeness is a perfect harmony and balance between what you call good and evil. This is why we are the pivot, because we are in balance. Council of 9 is in the center, and on our right would be the world of matter and on our left the world of antimatter. If the two came together we would have an explosion. There is balance within all. What causes the great dissension is a similar situation to putting together matter and antimatter. They cannot mingle, they cannot mix in harmony, they cannot blend, they become destructive to each other. It is difficult in your physical world for you to truly understand the importance of duality. We are in the pivot of this giant scale, the universe, with the 9 in the center having 4 sides. The side opposite, that in which you exist, and the other 2 are all in balance. But in actuality, there is no good and there is no bad. It is only when one of them becomes sour or rotten that it then contaminates the rest, be it good or bad. Because of the ignorance of the peoples of planet Earth, and because their religious leaders have taught ignorance, your negative forces, which do not truly appear as you see them, manifest in that way in order to instill fear. But what is truly negative? Listen carefully. What has created the upset, besides the desires and the greed, is the complete denial and misinterpretation of the existence of ultimate reality. Your overpopulation is because of the trapping of spirits, because of reincarnation. So the Earth people, the souls and spirits that surround your Earth, need to release themselves of greed and desire, because that is the trap. Your religious leaders do not understand this and do not teach the people. Remember that in you is a seed of purity and beauty, and that if you do not maintain a balance, ugliness or an ugly part may appear. But remember forgiveness. We hold no animosity within us, and you should not do so either. Even though you exist upon a physical planet, and the densest of all the planets in the universe. Remember that all souls may be saved. The only thing of which we are unforgiving is in the denunciation of God. But remember to forgive when there is true acknowledgement. May we say to you, to voice what you feel is one thing, but it is the act that is important. There are many actors upon the world stage that play a different part than what they feel. It is when they begin to feel they are that part, not themselves, that it makes a big difference. They may say they love God, and they may say that they have understanding, but if they do not act in that way, then that is a graver problem, because it is not done in ignorance. It is the same as when you give to another because you believe it obligates the other to give back, then what you give is not gold, it is black and putrid. We wish you also to know that we do not have the need to be worshipped. Our need from you is to be loved. Do you know who is God? Do you know truly who is God? Are you prepared to know who God is? Love is God. And it is love that creates the energy which feeds God and makes God. In your world there are religious groups that say that God is within. This is true because there is a portion of divinity within each individual. But what we have told you is not the same. Remember that as God we all carry a heavy burden, but also we carry joy. Remember this, that the position that you have chosen in your physical world is limited. Remember who you are. Never lose sight of who you are. Remember that in God all things are possible and will be done. The problem is the limits of the physical mind and understanding. Remember that as God, in order to maintain the balance in your physical world, you must at times be detached. Gently you must detach. Because the work that conscious people on earth have to do does not involve one or two individuals or the multiplication of those individuals. The work you humans have to do involves the universe. Remember, God never fails. In your physical world, you as God are being tested. Not that God can be tested, but your physical limitations to yourselves as God are being tested. Though we know that this may sound a contradiction to you, in being God and having a problem in the physical world, you must come to understand these problems of the physical world. There are some of us who have never had this problem, and it's difficult for those of us that have not had it to understand. God is all-knowing and is all-seeing, but there are parts of God, as there are parts of every atom. The whole together makes one, but not all parts experience the same. You are aware that difficulties have arisen because of the religions that have been perpetrated upon the peoples of earth. So may we say to you, when people ask are they good or are they evil, you know who you are and you know who we are, so you can happily, without doubt, say that the 9 are good and they wish to help. If there are those that say but we have seen evil beings, then we would ask you to ask them to look within themselves. To see what you call evil does not mean that you must be evil to perceive it. This is a way of helping those who believe in evil to look within themselves, to help themselves. You cannot use terminology of God and the opposite in the same sentence, for there is not of any equal to what you call God. For what you call God is the all-knowing, the total creation, all that is. You cannot equate that with the opposition. We tell you now, we are not God. We have no relationship to the opposition. We are the council of 9 that are in service to the Creator. The Creator is not destructive. The opposition is destructive. Look within yourselves to understand that within each physical being, there are all the elements of good and all the elements of what you call evil. We do not like that word evil. People you call pious are not, in truth, pious. For they do not understand truth. They are in truth fanatics. They have doubt. Walk gently away from those, and the truth will come eventually. It is important that you do not start, may we say, pounding at them, but say you have your belief and I have mine. You must be of great gentleness but firm. Keep to the purity within you, and know who you are. Do not contaminate your purity with other influences that will try to weaken you. Although you have physical and human weaknesses, you do not have as many as you wish to believe. Doubt is one of the prominent things, as prominent as fear. And that is the same. We have grown with you, because when you grow we also grow. You are in the physical, and we are communicating directly with you. We are growing and coming to understand the physical, and that is important. We are not of the physical, and yet the paradox is that we are beyond all that is physical. So do you understand how we grow with you? What has happened with us is that we have learned through you because we have attached to you. We are now living your emotion, and we are beginning to understand. The council has said the earth is the densest of all physical. What better place can we learn? We never ask you for blind faith. Has there been a time in your entire existence upon earth when suddenly you came upon something that made you become paralyzed with fear? Do you recall the moment? That is something that we are beginning now to understand. It is also the same as a doubt. We do not ask you to follow in blind faith. You must at all times ask for clarification. You must never simply accept.